know what the defense attorney thought this was going to be, but let me tell y'all the exact moment I knew the girls were in danger.
Calder's the next witness.
I would ask,
Latest Trump ruling hints at how the judge will side on Fani Willis's disqualification. So today, Judge Scott McAfee eliminated some of the Fulton County election interference charges against Donald Trump, and some legal analysts believe that gives a clear hint about how he will rule on disqualifying District Attorney Fani Willis. After all, we all know Fani Willis isn't on trial. Donald Trump is. They claim that she financially benefited from the relationship while he was making money from the county. And today, McAfee dismissed 6 counts in the criminal case facing Trump and his allies. 3 of them affected Trump personally and involved solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer. But many of the other charges remain. And
when you take a look at this article, the lack of details concerning
former impeachment lawyer and ethics czar Norm Isaac explained that the move is somewhat of an indication that Judge McAfee will not.
This is concerning the way liberals are melting down on social media, partaking through this. It is to clearly tells you they are heard. Why others are celebrating? When you take a look at this article, the lack of details concerning an essential legal element is in the design, opinion, factor rule. They do not give the defendant enough information to prepare their defenses intelligently. Okay, if you don't know, judges dismisses some charges against Trump in the Georgia 2020 election interference case. Some of you have seen this, but the kind of videos are always put out here, always concerning. You will see the meltdown, how they are reacting on social media. I have seen CNN, MNBC reporting on this, but when I went to TikTok to actually see how they are reacting.
Congressman, why did your J6 committee delete communications with Fani Willis?
It didn't, and you're a cult member.
Well, you've got a lot of letters that said you did. Do you want to comment on that?
No, you need deprogramming.
I read the news, Congressman.
Breaking news, Blaine, we wanted to ask you about the election there in Georgia last night, but we just got a filing from the court there in Fulton County. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I've just obtained that filing, and basically what is happening is that Judge Scott McAfee is dismissing several of the charges here in Georgia against former President Donald Trump. 6 of the charges in this order. The charges so far, and I'm still making my way through the judge's ruling right now, but appear to do with solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer. Those were certainly some of the charges that he was facing. Other people that were named, of course, Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, Johnny Eastman, Mark Meadows.
Yes, this is a big blow. According to this article, the ruling is a big blow to Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who is already facing an effort to have her removed from the prosecutions over her romantic relationship with a colleague. It is the first time charges in any of Trump's 4 criminal cases have been dismissed, with the judge saying prosecutors failed to provide enough details about the alleged crime. The sprawling indictment charges Trump and more than a dozen other defendants with violating Georgia Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, known as RICO. The case uses a statute normally associated with mobsters to accuse the former president, lawyers, and other aides of a criminal enterprise to keep him in power after he lost the 2020 elections to Democrat Biden. So you can see exactly, this diversity hire They always have this kind of consequences.
And the judge overseeing the Georgia 2020 election interference case has just dismissed some of the charges against former President Donald Trump. I'm Lana Harris.
And I'm Rick Fulbaum. Now, most of the charges remain, but this news comes less than 24 hours after Mr. Trump became the Republican Party's presumptive nominee for president. Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm joins us live from the Fulton County Courthouse. Rebecca, you have the court order.
I do, Rick and Lana, and I've been pouring through it. It is important to note what you said, that most of the charges remain. But yeah, the judge in this case basically agreed with the attorneys for Trump and the other defendants that there's a fatal flaw in some of the other charges. In a court order, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee wrote that 6 of the many counts in the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump and his co-defendants must be quashed. 3 of the charges being dismissed are against Trump himself. The charges in question involve alleged efforts by the defendants to solicit elected officials to violate their oaths of office, including 2 charges related to the post-2020 election phone call Trump made to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. In his order, McAfee writes that prosecutors erred in the wording of parts of the indictment, noting in part, as written, these 6 counts contain all of the essential elements of the crime, but fail to allege sufficient detail regarding the nature of their commission, i.e. the underlying felony solicited. And something else to keep in mind, the judge wrote that prosecutors can seek a new indictment on those charges he just dismissed. Now, all of this comes as we await the judge's decision on whether he will disqualify Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis over her romantic relationship with a special prosecutor in the case. The judge has said he will announce his decision on that by Friday.
Yes, I believe you heard that. Let's now see what CNN is saying, going off on her like never before. Take a look at this.
Need to look out for is the District Attorney Fani Willis and her reaction to all of this. I mean, everybody remembers all too well the way she responded to that hearing about whether or not she should stay on the case, and she famously said, "I'm not the one on trial here. The former president and all those co-defendants are on trial here." I mean, this is getting to be. I mean, this is going to be a very tough, fought out case when it finally gets, to court and in front of a jury.
Yeah, there have been several screw-ups, frankly, by the DA throughout the history of this case. Going back to the investigative phase, the DA got herself disqualified from a small piece of the case because she created a political conflict of interest. The judge who was overseeing the grand jury removed Fani Willis from the case. We've seen Fani Willis make public statements in the church and elsewhere that have now been called into question that I think violate the ethics of prosecutorial rules. And now we've seen 6 of the charges thrown out of the case. And unlike the conflict of interest issue, this does go to the charges against the defendant. This does go to the indictment itself. And there is still a case. The lead charge, the racketeering case, is still in place. But this is a setback.
Yes, this is the end of this. We knew exactly that this is how it would end. If CNN is sounding like this, it should clearly send you a message. Yes.
Basically told Fani Willis and her team, look, if this went to trial, these would not stick. So take it back to the drawing board. They're going to get another grand jury. They will present the evidence to the grand jury. And that means that Trump and the rest of those folks have a whole nother set of trials to look forward to after those grand juries come back with their indictments. Remember, every cloud has a silver lining.